I cannot stand the way you look.
Hello, my beautiful soul tribe. It is Catherine, and this is Tarot Talk Live. Welcome to another episode of Conspiracy Theory Shorts. And we are going to get into this Nancy Guthrie situation. But before we do that, I first want to ask that you guys please like the video. It really matters. It matters to me, and it also matters to YouTube notification system and the algorithm. So the sooner you guys hit those like buttons, the better it is for me, the channel, getting more people into the readings, and these numbers are going to go up and up and up. You guys just watch. Okay, but please help me give this channel a chance. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and also, hashtag win in the comment section. I am going to be doing a giveaway every month once we get to 100 subscribers. So, subscribe to the channel and hashtag win in the comment section. I will enter your name into the drawing and we will do a giveaway for a free personal reading with me. It's a 3-question reading. This is what the drawing bag looks like for my other channel, my main channel, Queen Cancer Tarot. Please go to that channel and subscribe. The link is below. And you can also be entered in your chance to win a reading with me on that channel as well. All you have to do is hashtag win in the comment section. Do that across all 3 of my channels, you guys, and you will be entered. And again, once we hit 100 subscribers on this channel and on my other new channel, She Reads Tarot, where I read for all 12 signs of the zodiac every single month, I will be doing a giveaway on that channel as well. So I am going to be going live once I move over into my studio, which I'm in the process of doing, you guys. So that is going to be coming soon. All right, so all the information about me is below. Information about my website is below. The link is below. So I asked these questions yesterday. It's day 28. So we're going to be talking about Nancy Guthrie. There are a few questions that I want to ask in this episode, and I've gotten it into pretty much 3 categories. All right. I started this reading. I did this reading last night. The video was very garbled. You couldn't hear. It was very scratchy, staticky. It was awful. I have been noticing that has been happening. And thank you so much to the lovely person that gave me a shout out, letting me know about the last episode or the last conspiracy theory that was garbled as well. So I do apologize. It is sporadic. It's not throughout the entire video, but it doesn't matter. I don't want that in my video at all. Okay. I don't want you guys to have any issues hearing at all. All right. So I am working on getting that rectified. But I also think that there's just some energy issues going on anyways, and I feel like I was having some struggle getting this reading out. It was almost like energy didn't want me to get this reading out, but not spirit not spirit, because spirit definitely came through, and you will see. So I separated these questions into 3 categories. Okay, so the first one is pretty much the sheriff's claims. Okay, we're going to title it the sheriff's claims. The second category is going to be the car rides. Okay, 2 car rides specifically is going to end up coming out when I ask this question. So I still have the recording with the garbled reading. If you guys would like to see the cards as they were pulled, me asking the questions, the cards that came out, because I'm just basically going over it again. I put everything in order, and I'm just gonna show you how everything came out. Okay, so If you would like to have a link for that garbled reading, you are more than welcome to. I wanted to upload it, but I couldn't because it was just so bad. And I'm like, gosh, I want them to, think that I at least care, about my channel. And I really do, you guys. So whenever I have sound issues, it's not because I just don't give a crap. It's because literally it is something going on, and I'm working on it. The microphone is not the issue. It's not the microphone. I think it has something to do with one of the connections to how I link the cords to my actual laptop. And I have it's like a pod where you can plug in multiple, USBs. And I think that has something to do with it. So anywho, I'm going to work on that on the back end. So no worries. But I do hope that this reading is going well, and I hope that you guys can hear me okay. All right, so let's go ahead and start the third part, you guys, the third section, you guys, that we're going to talk about is going to be Mr. T. Okay, so I think you guys know Mr. T, who I'm referring to. Okay, so if you know, you know. If not, go check out the other readings that I did, you guys, and you can catch yourself up to it. But this is all alleged. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty. This channel is not here to accuse anyone. I'm here to read energy and to ask questions that we've all been asking, or that some of us have not asked, or some of us have wanted to ask, or whatever the case may be. This is what this channel is for. Okay, I'm set my intentions on this channel prior to starting it, and that is what this is for. And this is morphed into this situation. Okay, so Sherriff's claims, first questions. Okay, so the first question I asked is, why did the sheriff claim that the family is clear? So we all know that the sheriff came out and said that no one is clear. Everyone is a suspect. Basically, they're looking into everybody. You know what I mean? And then on the second day, day two, right after that, immediately after that, he came back and retracted and came back and said the family is cleared. Okay. So I want to know, why did he say that? Why did Sheriff say it? And was this a ruse? Okay, something that he did intentionally? Was he working in conjunction with other powers that suggested that he go back and say this for a specific reason? And or was it ego? And I feel like if it were an intentional ruse, it would have been done to convince perhaps family members that they were in the clear. You know what I mean? And like some sort of reverse psychology methodology, right? So that's my question, and I'm going to ask it. So, why did the sheriff claim that the family was clear? Was this an intentional ruse? Or was this his ego because he just wanted to? He said something, and then he realized that what he said was wrong, so he had to retract it. So he said something different. Like, what is his intentions? So, why did he claim it? Why did the sheriff make his claims? So the first two cards, number 15, we have the sacred vows. And then number 35 in the reverse, bewitched. Okay, so the sacred vows, interesting. We're talking about vows. If you check out the last short that I did, it talked about a soul tie. Okay, perhaps a married couple. Okay, falling out. And we have the sacred vows, and it's in the reverse. So that's just kind of making my head spin already. Okay. 1 + 5 is 6. 6 is in the reverse. And when 6 is in the reverse, it looks like a 9, right? This word here, committed, the sacred vows, and it says committed or commitment. Okay. Commitment. It's in the reverse. So again, Is it because he wants to cause people to turn on each other? And that's what I'm getting. That's the immediate thing that I'm getting here. There are people that are in tight with one another. And remember, we had the oracle message that I pulled that said friendship, and it was all the hands on top of each other, like a pact. And there were, I'm going to say at least three and as many as five people are involved or were involved in Nancy's disappearance. Okay. And or are aware. Okay. Or combination of the two. Okay. At least five. This could perhaps be a gang because, again, I was seeing that, and I'll show you later, but also prior to, there was a glove and it showed a tattoo. So we'll get back to that a little bit later. But I'm getting an energy of perhaps a gang, friends, people that are like close or tied into this thing, and they're trusting one another, right? They're committed, right? They have a commitment, but it's falling apart. This is in the reverse. And with bewitched in the reverse, this says you're under a spell in the reverse. So somebody is not under a spell any longer, or someone is becoming disenchanted. And that's dangerous. For who? It's dangerous for the perpetrators. It's dangerous for the perpetrators, for the people who committed this crime. Why? Because the person who is falling out of commitment is going to be the one that snitches. Okay? Doesn't that make sense to you? That's what I'm getting. I'm getting that this was intentional to cause a ruse. Okay? Not out of ego. And then we have moon water, reset, and forgotten ghost. Moon water, reset, and forgotten ghost. And my question was this intentional as a ruse? Okay. Or ego driven? And we have a 5 and we have a 6 here. And what's interesting is we have two moons. And what's interesting about the moon in this one is it's this almost the same shape here. You can see it's like the same moon that we have here. So similar here. Forgotten ghost, reset. So there's energy of starting over here. Creating an illusion, right? This is about some sort of an illusion or people who are sleeping or thinking that they're sleeping. Okay, so I feel like there's an energy of getting people to turn against one another, people to be comfortable, people to think that they are in the clear. Okay, thinking that they're in the clear, that they're getting away with the ruse. So I go to confirm or clarify with the tarot messages. And here's what we got. First card out, the moon. The moon. This is Piscean energy. This is water energy, by the way. So there is some illusion that needs to be created now. Now that he has said that people were under suspicion. Now he needs to backtrack because perhaps the FBI stepped in. This is where you get the clashing of the powers. And I feel like someone said, listen, you got to retract that statement. You're going to have to do this because of this. And so then he had to come in and throw a whole nother storyline in. Underneath the deck, we have the Two of Pentacles here. And we have the Tower. See, there's the energy of going back and forth, right? All of a sudden, there's this change and there's an energy of something happening, right? There's something that is coming. And we have the Ten of Swords. We have the Ten of Swords here. So that represents an ending, but it also represents a betrayal. Okay? It represents a betrayal. And I feel like this story had to change. The sheriff had to put out something different because, there's going to be something that's going to happen with this soul tie connection, with this couple. Do you see what I'm saying? So the next question, and we're also now going on to the next topic, and this is the car ride. Okay? Car ride. So about the car ride. So there was video footage that was taken some miles away. I don't know if it was about 2 miles perhaps from Nancy's home. And someone had a camera, and 8 minutes after the time that Nancy was taken, you can see a car zooming past on the camera, going in the direction away from Nancy's home, flying by. Okay. Now, before, the very first card that popped out when I did the reading yesterday was Coven. Soul. It was like soul something coven. And it said soul. Okay. The authorities are thinking that is perhaps a Kia Soul, the vehicle that zoomed past. And it was white in color. Okay. They're thinking that it was a Kia Soul. That was just the initial reports, and that is what I have seen. Okay. So for that card to come out and that to be one of the questions that I was going to ask about, kind of shook me. That was before the reading started yesterday. That was the first card that fell out. And I put it back in the deck because I said, if it comes back out, it'll be like triple clarification confirmation that it was the Kia, because I wanted to know if that car had been involved in her disappearance. Was the car in the video footage the car that Nancy was taken in? Were the perpetrators in that vehicle? That was the first question I asked. And this is what came out. So we got number 2 in the reverse, solitary witch. Heal yourself first is what it says. And there's a lady and she has tattoos all over. You can't see anything and you see a lot of skin, but she has, the way she's folded up, everything is covered. So I'm not worried about anything being shown, but it is a lot of skin, but she's got tattoos all over her body. And she's sitting out, appears to be out in the elements or outside, but this is in the reverse and you can see the moon here. You see the crescent moon as well. See that? But this is in the reverse, okay? Solitary in the reverse. So there's an energy of, this says heal yourself first. I feel like there are multiple people There's the energy of not being alone, is what I'm getting. This is in the reverse. And then we have focus here. Now, when I saw focus, I'm thinking Ford Focus. Was it a Ford Focus? Because I've had a Focus before. I think they have the Focus that are in the shape of like kind of like the Kia Soul, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't know if they have a newer version of the Ford Focus. I'm going to have to check on that. Okay. But as you can see, this is number 38. 8, 9, 10, 11. Twin flame. Karmic. Karmic. But listen, we have this. It says focus here, but there's like a very fierce, fast moving animal going past. And it's like if you didn't, it looks like a wolf going past. But if you focus on it, you'll see that it has wings and feathers and it has legs like a bird. Okay. So there's an energy of having to focus in on something to get a closer look at it to see that it's actually something different. So I think that they're focusing in on this vehicle, thinking that it's maybe a Kia, but I think that it may be something different. I don't know. Is it a Focus? I don't know. I don't know, but that's just the cards that came out. That's not even how I interpreted it right away when I drew the cards yesterday, but I am kind of getting that energy of perhaps maybe it's something different and they need to look closer, or if they can focus in on this vehicle and see that the person in the vehicle was not by themselves. That's maybe something they need to focus in on with that vehicle. That is probably why this energy is coming out, because I feel like at that time Nancy was in that vehicle, or there were perpetrators in that vehicle. Maybe they can count how many people were in that vehicle to see that there was more than 2 or 3. You know what I mean? That's just a theory. Now, the next cards that came out, grief. And it says banshee. Banshee. Like Banshee Indian, I believe. If you think of the term banshee, my grandmother used to say banshee. She used that term when somebody was acting very irrational or aggressive or just out of their head, acting like a banshee. Yeah, that's what my grandmother used to say. You acting like a banshee. And I guess that was maybe an aggressive tribal native. I need to look up on that. I really do. I really do. Let's see here. Hold on one second. Hold on. Hold on. Let's see here. Banshee. A female spirit from Irish folklore known as a harbinger of death, whose mournful wail or shriek foretells an impending death in a family. Oh my gosh. Okay, y'all, I'm sorry. Whoa. So that's what banshee is. Okay. Appearing to specific ancient Irish families to signal a death rather than cause it. And her cry is a warning. Oh my God. The phrase scream like a banshee. Yes. Yes. Hollering like a banshee. That's what my grandmother used to say. Oh, I love you, Grandma. You guys, that is what it is, hollering like a banshee. And we have grief and banshee here. And look at this lady covering her ears. Now, remember, it was said that Nancy wore powerful hearing aids. I watch Nancy Grace very, very closely, you guys, first of all. And to go back to the sheriff saying that he cleared the suspects, that's where I learned this on. The sheriff can't clear any suspects because the sheriff is not a charging, he's not a, a defense, he's not a prosecuting attorney, he's not a prosecutor, so he can't charge crimes. You know what I mean? Only a judge or a prosecutor, a prosecutor's attorney, something like that can charge. Okay. This is not happening with the sheriff. So that whole thing of I cleared or they're cleared or they've been cleared or the sheriff's office has cleared them or we've cleared them. No, they can't clear anyone or declare anyone cleared. Okay. So I got that from Nancy Grace. She was doing an interview with an an ex-FBI professional. I watch her vividly. I've been watching her since John Bonet. And you guys, I am going to be doing conspiracy theory deep dive on John Bonet. I've been building this for years now, but I wasn't going to do it before for specific reasons. I am going to do it. So yeah. So we have grief here covering her ears. So perhaps in that car ride, maybe there were things that she overheard that she didn't want to hear. And it gave her grief. We have foresight here. Number 13, Sybil. Sybil. Now, my whole thing was the question was this car involved? You know what I mean? And this is all the energy that is coming out just from that question. Was that car in that video footage the car that Nancy was taken in, and all of this energy is coming out? I'm getting a lot of Nancy's energy coming through. With foresight and grief, I'm just getting an energy of Nancy, understood what was happening or where she was going, and I don't believe that it was good. I think that she understood that they meant to harm her. They were taking her away to harm her, and I think she understood this, and that's not something that it just kind of really, really takes me to a place. And I feel like during the reading, you guys, something happened, and I'll tell you about it in a little bit. But the reading took a very dark turn that I did not like, and I had to excuse myself from this reading. So just going to let you know that, and certain things that I'm just not going to be specific about, but I will show you the cards that I got when I asked certain question, and I will let you guys tell me what you think, okay? Because I know what I thought, and it made me sick, and I had to excuse myself from the reading, literally. So we'll get to it. So with the tarot messages, what I pulled was the Empress and the 8 of Pentacles and the 9 of Pentacles and the 4 of Pentacles. So we have a lot of pentacles here. We got a lot of money here. We have an Empress. I think they realized or knew that she had a lot of money, and the whole thing was this was a job. This was a job. I feel like transporting her away, taking her away, I feel like they were paid. I feel like there's an energy of they were paid to transport, take her away. They knew that she lived alone or knew that she was alone or vulnerable. We have the 9 of Pentacles here and the 4 of Pentacles here. So taking possession of someone who they felt was financially going to be worth something. I feel like something happened, and I feel like the decision was made to take her away to get more after the fact. So maybe there was a job that was done, but it was extended, if that makes sense. So now we're going to move on to Mr. T. And this is also going to include, I feel like, portions of car ride energy as well. Because the first question that I want to know about Mr. T was, did Mr. T actually bring Nancy home like he claims? And if he did bring her home like he claims, did he watch her go in the house? Or did he physically assist her in? What happened there? What transpired around that? Because if it wasn't like he said, how did it actually go? This is what we got. So we're going to do this in sections. So we got illumination here, okay? Number 21. Illumination. Fire on their hands, fire, flames above their crown, coming out of their head, appearing to come out of their head, like hair of flames. Their hair is on fire. They have no hair. They're bald. They appear to be bald, but they have flames coming out of their head instead of hair. And then we have flames coming out of their hands. Maybe it's off their fingernails. This is where your hair follicles. So everywhere where hair follicles would grow, there's fire. Instead of hair, there is fire. Number 3, 21 is 3. 2 plus 1 is 3. So there's some sort of manifestation that's taking place. Okay, creating some sort of an illusion. We have illumination here. So wanting to illuminate, wanting to be illuminated, or wanting to be seen as the last person that saw her. And then we're going to look at the tarot messages that came with that. But the other card that we got, interesting enough, number 12. So we have 21 and 12. 3 and 3. 33. This is a master number here. And I feel like this is master creator. But we have the elements. Back to basics. There are 5 people on this card, by the way, if you notice. Back to basics, back home, right? But we have the elements, right? There are people outside. I feel like, yes, he takes her back home, but there are people outside. And I feel like he has this knowledge. He knows. He has, I feel there's an energy of knowing. Knowing. This was an illumination. This was a ruse. This was an act. This was a play. This was a well theatrical performance. I'm going to take her home. I'm going to drop her off, but you guys will already be there waiting. Could that be? Could that be a master manipulator creating some sort of illumination on yourself to try to throw people off. Well, if he says he was there and you see him there and you see him leaving, well, it couldn't have been him, right? No, but if there were people there waiting for her to get there out in the elements, could you imagine the monsters outside your home waiting for you and you have no clue? So before we get to this, okay, let's go over this. So the cards that came out, the tarot, for this is the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords is all about trying to block something, trying to keep someone entrapped. This could be abduction. This could be an energy of trying to keep someone from seeing something and saying something and doing something. See how the eyes are covered here, blindfolded, not wanting this person to see or be seen, but while being out in the open. See my hands? I couldn't have done it because I'm showing my hands. Eight of Swords. There's something that is being blocked. Under the deck, look at this, y'all. The Magician, the Emperor. You guys, this is an energy of controlling the narrative. This is someone being manipulative and controlling. And with that, we got the Page of Wands. This is under the deck from the Eight of Swords. They are manipulating, they are purposefully putting someone in this situation where they're trapped. And then they're creating and controlling the narrative. That Page of Wands, this is all about someone taking a huge risk and doing it for the thrill, just not even caring. Now, this is where it got troubling for me, and this is why this reading is going to be coming to an end shortly, y'all. So I'm sorry about that, but the energy got dark. So we got the elements here, number 12, okay? And I wanted to pull specific energy around this because I wanted to know, like, what is it with these people? You know, why are we have 5 people here? What's going on? Who is outside? Was someone outside? Did he take her home? Like, what happened at home? And the first card that came out was the Nine of Swords and the Nine of Cups. This bothers me. This bothers me. You see where this person is in the bed. And then we have the Nine of Cups here, which this talks about wish fulfillment. I'm not going to go any further because after I said that, I said this is getting very dark and I really don't like what this implies. I don't like what this implies. And I feel like that there was something very dark in her bedroom that night. And when I looked under the deck, this is the card. The Devil. Right under the deck, number 15, 1 and 5 is 6. We have Sacred Vows, number 15 in the reverse. 1 and 5 is 6. That made me sick to my stomach. It bothered me. I didn't like it. I said, what the hell? What happened? And I feel like whatever happened was dark because under this is what we got. So with that energy, sacred vows, I'm sorry, with that energy, not sacred vows, the elements, okay? The elements. That scared me. And if that didn't scare me enough, I was like, are these people outside waiting? You know what I mean? Why didn't he at least let her in the house? That would be what I would do for any elderly person, let alone my mom, or stepmom. Stepmom was my mom, for me. But there's no way. Or mother-in-law. Okay. So we got these two cards. I'm gonna let you look close. We got synergy number 32. 3 and 2 is 5, which represents fear and change. This lion appears to have two heads. One is a ram, one is a lion. Either way, it does not look good. Neither one. Synergy means people working together. And someone changed. We have number 17 here. Compassion. It says Minotaur, but I'm seeing monster. I'm seeing monster. And I want to know where the compassion is because we have this woman here in a white gown. And remember the last reading I did, I said that we had the Eight of Swords, and it was the Eight of Swords that shows this woman in a gown kneeling on a cloud in a gown. It was a grayish white satin gown. And here's a woman in a white gown here holding a sword or a dagger, and there is reddish brown fluid leaking off the dagger onto the ground, which looks very much like Nancy's foyer. You remember the archway that Nancy has in her foyer and the clay concrete. That's what this looks like. And I'm seeing, where's the compassion? Because I feel like someone changed. Someone changed up on Nancy. So, Mr. T, we got Queen of Cups and Justice. So, I will tell you that after I saw that devil energy and I saw the Nine of Swords and the Nine of Cups with the devil under the deck, I started crying. My energy, I don't know. I am an empath and I definitely feel energy, and I instantly like tears and grief, which that threw me off when the card of grief, because it was like, this is overwhelming for me. And as I was crying, the Queen of Cups came out. The Queen of Cups. Along with Justice. And my ears are ringing right now because there's karma coming. Nancy was a woman of compassion. Nancy would have showed love and compassion to anyone. This was wrong, what was done, but there will be justice. There will be justice. Under the deck, Three of Cups. Friends, family, people coming together here. We have the Six of Wands. We have the World, and we have the Hierophant. So there was an ascension. I definitely feel like Nancy has ascended. I do. I feel like Nancy has ascended, but I do feel like there's going to be justice. But I feel like there are friends and family. There's a combination of friends and family working together that were in on this, that had something to do with this. Take it how it resonates, you guys. Thank you so much for listening. I'm going to come back with more conspiracy theories coming up soon. And next, I'm probably going to be doing a deep dive. And I am going to decide, because I'm so backed up. I have so many different topics that I'm going to be discussing. But I will see you guys on the next one. I love you guys. Take care of each other and yourselves. And I will see you later. Bye.
do, do.